Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. My name is Dominic, and I am the host of the Android Factory. Last episode, we set up this page here to be a little dynamic once we have categories, but for now, it looks a little barren here. So we have a small call to action in this weird state, and so we're just going to go ahead and implement the little add category screen here. I think it kind of makes sense to mimic something that looks like this. So give me a small bit. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be back after that. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Went ahead and created the add category fragment here, which is just bare bones at this point with a blank on-click listener for our save button. Went ahead and created the fragment here, basically copied the add item layout and then just deleted everything except an input field because that's all that we need. We need the category name if you remember what the entity looked like, and then added it to the nav graph here, connected it up with the action, and now we're all good to go. So inside of our profile fragment, on category empty state clicked, because we could maybe rename that, but we're going to go ahead and navigate via nav graph from, we need to import the R, but action profile to add category entity fragment. That's going to bump us over here, and then when that loads up, I guess we could say binding dot category edit text, can request focus, which would be nice. And then on save, let's say save category to database. Create this function here, and then we will say that our category name is going to be our binding category name edit text dot toString trim if where is it, category name dot is empty. We're going to say the binding category in text field error is going to be the little star required field. Yes. Then we're going to return. Otherwise, we're going to say binding. Yeah, I'm thinking that that will be fine because we're going to navigate up anyway, so we don't really need to clear the error in the case where they successfully add one. I don't think you're going to want to necessarily, add. You're not going to be adding categories as frequently as you're going to be adding items to this app. So I think that if we just navigate up after they save to the database, then things should be fine. So with that said, we can go ahead and create our category entity equals a category entity with the ID being UUID, random UUID to string, and then the name is going to be the category name, and then we're going to say shared view model, insert category with our category entity that was created. And then we just need to hook into our, what's it called, transaction complete, observe, view lifecycle owner, completed, and we're just going to say if completed, navigate up, right? I believe the insert category function, yes, so we'll go ahead and insert our category into the database, and then it will post to the transaction complete live data. So that might be everything we need. Go ahead and run this really quickly. Okay, so we reran it here. Go to the profile, add our category. Say main activity dot show keyboard. So the next time we come to that, it should show the keyboard. Quickly apply those changes, and then we add our category. Keyboard is up. Try to save something. It is a required field. So then let's just leave it at grocery store. I guess an input thing we can change here is, this is a good example of it. Where is it? Input type is text cap sentences. We're going to make it text cap words, because in the event that anything has, a category has multiple words in its name, i.e. Home Depot, Trader Joe's, Amazon has one word, I don't know, anything else, both of the words seem to be capitalized because it's usually a proper noun, right? So if we just go ahead and add Home Depot here, okay, for some reason this wasn't updating here, but you saw it work there as far as Home Depot was capitalized. And then if we hit save, we're going to go ahead and have our little item here navigate up. I guess we could also try to close the keyboard, which I guess we should actually end up doing on the profile fragment whenever we resume here. Hide keyboard from our acquire view in the on resume. Okay, a little bit of cleanup, but we can see here a little bit of an issue there with our categories here. So is this getting hit? Yeah, it is probably, right? Because we had to do that silly thing in our add item entity fragment. In our on pause, we had to do this, which is very annoying. I think actually in the next episode we're going to go ahead and clear that, but the problem was the fact that we had we're observing a live data that has a boolean of true. So in our onView created, we say if true, navigate up, and while we're trying to navigate to it, so it's just an endless cycle of not what we want. So let's go ahead and say Home Depot 2. Home Depot 3. And then let's just add another one. Amazon. Right. So clearly this doesn't really look all that brilliant at the moment. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is just update a little bit of the layout here. Okay, so after a little bit of cleanup here, I went back to two, uh, whatever you call them, two spans, or span count of two, just because it looked a little bit better here. But now we can kind of see this coming together. You can see the different categories here. You can just very easily add a category if we need to. But there's still a little bit more UI cleanup here that I want to take care of. For instance, this categories is a little bit further in than I want it to be. And that was because we had to put a padding horizontal of 16 on the actual epoxy recycler view, because otherwise we'd end up with that, which doesn't look great from this perspective of things. So I think we can quickly clean that up at some point in the future, but because we are doing the add header, we're using the extension function for that, we kind of need to take into account that in this case, in the grid layout, we want it to basically not have any padding because we're going to add the padding here. But in the other case where we are on this home page, it's a linear list, so we are going to have to add the padding in there at that point. So anyway, we can fix that later, but I like the way this is coming out instead. Let's go ahead and just quickly check on things in dark mode. Yeah, looks pretty good. I'm happy with how that's coming out for sure, and I'm assuming this looks fine. Yep, Amazon, and then let's just say grocery store. Save that up. You can see those nice little animations that end up happening. That's all the epoxy doing its stuff for us, making our lives a little easier. So this is good. I'm happy with where we're at here. Just gonna keep this one short, cut it here, and I'll catch you in the next one when we just continue adding more to this to the app.